Two scavengers in a truck, two beautiful people in a Mercedes.
By Lawrence Ferlinghetti.
At the stoplight, waiting for the light, 9 AM downtown San Francisco, a bright yellow garbage truck with two garbage men in red plastic blazers standing on the back stoop, one on each side hanging on and looking down into an elegant, open Mercedes with an elegant couple in it.
The man in a hip three-piece linen suit with shoulder-length blonde hair and sunglasses. The young blonde woman so casually coiffed with a short skirt and coloured stockings on the way to his architect's office.
And the two scavengers up since 4 AM, grungy on their route home from their route on the way home, the older of the two with grey iron hair and hunchback, looking down like some gargoyle Quasimodo. The younger of the two, also with the sunglasses and long hair, about the same age as the Mercedes driver.
And both scavengers gazing down, as from a great distance, at the cool couple, as if they were watching some odorless TV ad in which everything is always possible.
And the very red light for an instant holding all four close together as if anything at all were possible between them, across that small gulf in the high seas of this democracy.
Okay. The first thing I noticed when I looked at this poem was its structure. Most other poems have a more formal layout with equal verses containing lines of similar lengths. However, this poem is different. It is very fragmented, which could be a metaphor for a broken society, and the way that democracy has worked, as it later makes a reference to on the last line. The fact that this poem doesn't contain much punctuation is also very significant. This allows the poem to flow and could relate to the way that Ferlinghetti believes that the rich and poor should not be separated. Finally, although the lines are very fragmented, there are also some points where they overlap. This could link to the way in which the rich and poor's lives are very different and separate, but at times they do overlap. For example, the four people meeting at traffic lights.
Theme. The theme focuses on the society of a democracy and shows the contrast between the two groups of people. Each group are not belonging or longing for something better. It also compares the two ways of life. It shows a big difference between how the rich and the poor live. For example, the poor coming home from their work and the rich going out to the work. It shows a political and social divide and how two different social classes can meet in such a small space without discussing anything.
The actual content of the poem describes the meeting of two completely different pairs of people when they are stopped at a traffic light. There are two dustbin men on the back of a truck next to a Mercedes with two rich people inside. It's 9 in the morning and the two dustbin men are on the way home from their work, whereas the cool couple are just on the way to an architect's office. This shows time difference and is one of the many differences that are shown between the two during the poem. There are also many similarities, such as the physical likeness of the Mercedes driver and one of the dustbin men, and the younger of the two, also with sunglasses and long hair, about the same age as the Mercedes driver. I think Ferlinghetti wrote this to show how different they are simply due to how society has treated them, not due to their physical appearance.
They use a lot of techniques in this poem, for example the beat technique, which is no technique at all. They use repetition in the elegant when describing the couples, and the cool couple is what they describe it as a lot. He uses a lot of alliteration and irony in the last few sentences. They have similes to show the comparisons. It is written in the present tense to show that democracy problems are a current issue.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
Could you just repeat that last line about present tense? Because I thought that was...
The poem is written in present tense to show how democracy problems are currently a present problem.
Oh, thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah.
What was your favourite thing about the poem?
Claire? Or me?
Go on, correct.
Everyone Claire.
I just like the way that it related to the democracy. It showed like his opinions while also showing the metaphor for that. Any other questions?
Did you enjoy studying it?
It was interesting finding out about the information and what it's actually about and the history of it.
Did you understand it like the first time you read it, or did you like keep reading it over and over?
At first, I was a bit confused. I was just like, okay, 4 people at a traffic light. But then afterwards, once I actually went deep into the research, I realised it was so much more than that.